Here we are, the Tuesday after party of the Freedom Summit. How exciting! It's so good to be with you all. I'm Kelly Wilkins, your host of the Freedom Summit, and gathered together with all of our beautiful friends in the room to share some of the highlights of the weekend that was. If you weren't with us, we missed you. You missed out on an amazing weekend, but we're glad that you're here, catching up on all the best bits and the learnings and the takeaways. So welcome. I just wanted to open up the floor to each of you, whoever would like to share. When you think about the weekend that we created, there was a lot that we accomplished and a lot of magical moments. So, for anyone who wants to jump in and share your top or the lesson that you got out of anything that happened over the weekend, um, who'd like to kick us off?
I will.
Andrew, go for it.
Yeah. So my perspective might be a little bit different because I'm from the organisers side of things. So from previous summits, I was not able to really have the full experience because I was too busy running around everywhere doing stuff. But this time, had actually more time to participate in the talks. And also, I spoke to a lot of people, which I quite enjoyed. And yeah, I do like talking to people and listening to their stories, and I was able to do that this time, and I enjoyed that part of it. And everybody, all the feedback that I got was that people really enjoyed the environment, the connection with other people, and a lot spoke that they were inspired by the talks. I was also. Um, and yes, I felt like the whole thing was a very good experience all around.
Beautiful. And I want to just acknowledge Andrew while we have him here that the work that he has put into um, the organization and the decision making in the background, not only this summit, but as you could hear, not only last summit, but the last 4 years that we've been working on workshops and programs. Andrew has been right there, right from the beginning. And I want to take my hat off to you, Andrew. You're a constant in my life, and I love that about you. And I appreciate everything that you contribute and bring to the My Self-Reliance community, and bless you for it. You know, we have traveled a long road together, and thanks for being the rock.
Thank you, Kelly.
Appreciate
It
you.
was my honor.
I saw Paul had his hand up. Paul, do you want to come off mute and
Yeah, I'm off mute now. It was my first time, and I had a great time. I was only able to attend on the Saturday because I've got temple on Friday and church on Sunday. But I really enjoyed just everything about it, the community, the other people that you had with their displays. I learned a lot from, like I spoke to most of them. I learned a lot from their displays and suggested to some other people that they should join your community because they have things to offer as well. But I thought there were some lovely moments, like when we had the big circle and you said the prayer, and it was a lot of fun joining the dance with your mum. So that was fun. And some of the talks were just really outstanding, like that. I'm not sure how I say her name, GT or whatever. She was just amazing. She was like I was drinking from a fire hose. She had so much good information. So really looking forward to the recordings for those to listen again. So I thought it was a wonderful event. You're doing a great work. More power to you.
Ah, thank you, Paul. And yes, she's amazing, Gigi. She runs the Australians for Science for Freedom, and she is putting on her third conference next month, 21st to 24th of November, or to the 23rd. And I'm actually speaking at her conference, so on community. So yeah, I'll put a link in the comments, and yeah, you can grab a ticket and go along to her conference. It'd be awesome.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for coming and experiencing it. So great. All righty. Well, there's a bit of an overview for everybody. I do want to go through each of the speakers, and really the purpose for those of you who were not in the speaker hall, we kicked off on Saturday morning. Well, let's just backtrack a little bit. Friday night, we had Robin Cosford come and speak to us about health. And she is such a smart woman, who runs the World Child Health Organization. And she's written a paper on the damaging effects of nicotine, as a peer review paper. And so, you can ask her anything, and she can answer it. And so she's done a talk for us before. You can go back on my YouTube channel and listen to her talk. And she covered off the all the ways that you can actually have health in that talk. And so, was there anyone who listened to that talk and wanted to share a takeaway or two from her conversation? Jump in while you're thinking about that. We will go through a little bit by bit, and if you heard of anyone of the speakers, you can share what you learnt out of that talk. But after that, we had the talent night, and there wasn't too many takers on the talent night, but we did have a few on the karaoke, and that was hilariously funny. So that was a lot of fun, and a good way to start the evening with the potluck dinner, start the whole event. And I think nothing brings people together better than food. And so having a potluck dinner with everyone's contributing, that was super, super fun. So I think that's a staple in this for the Freedom Summits, is sharing the first meal together. Anyone agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so then Saturday morning we started basically with my talk, and the purpose of my self-reliance and the Freedom Summit is really all about getting community together, and that was the theme of the weekend. And so what we've created over the last 4 years is a system called the Prep Matrix. Now, we've worked out how to get communities together in a really empowering way, and a structure that really works. And of course, we've had lots of, I guess, in the freedom community, people who want to get together for social reasons, people who want to get together for political reasons, and people who want to protest. Like, that's a big common reason for people to get together. But for the purpose of my self-reliance, we're really, really getting together to give power back to individuals and families in a way that you can set yourself up to be off the system. So we've identified 8 areas of self-reliance that transcends all cultures and belief systems. So starting with the area of food, because you need to eat, that's important, right? And if you don't have to be reliant on, the shops to produce it, you have alternative means of healthy produce, number 1. The next area is finances, because money isn't everything, but it's up there with air. You kind of need it to survive. Number 3 is health, because without your health, what do you have? And getting off the health system and having, real health from lots of our natural health resources is the best way to go. Okay. Number 4 is relationships. And for me, relationships is kind of number 1 because it's the only thing that you take with you when you die, I believe. So for me, death isn't that's it. There's more to life after death, and relationships is continual. So for me, it's not how you die, but how you live that counts, and the quality of your relationships gives you the quality of your life. Then number 4 is education. Because my background is in education, then for me, we're always continually learning and growing. And education is not just secular, but it's the personal development that we take throughout our life that actually has us to level up. That's super important. The next one is technology, because we need to learn how to traverse this age of technology. That's the world we live in. The 7th is communication. And because communication exists on 2 levels, one is how do we communicate to, it's kind of linked with technology, but in this broader sense, we need to be able to stay in communication, and also the effectiveness of our communication. It kind of links a little bit with relationships. And then last but not least, and actually kind of first on my heart, and it was the last of the pillars to add, but it's faith. And faith is the unseen strength that we have that we draw on in tough times, that helps us get through. And so they're the 8 pillars that we use the prep matrix to work out where we start in developing our self-reliance. So the prep matrix helps us to work out what is the problem in each of those areas, and where do we want to be? What do we want to, what's the problem that we want to overcome, and what's between here and where we want to get to. The next thing is resources, looking at what do we already have? What resources can we draw on without spending any extra money? What do we have at our fingertips? The E in prep is for education. Again, that's really super important. So what else do we need to learn? And what information can we gather that will help us overcome our challenges? And then the last P is people. What people can we, is part of our resources that we can draw on that will strengthen us? Who are we obligated to help as part of that, of our people? Could be our family, could be friends. So those, that's looking at the prep matrix that you can apply that prep against any other area that you have, that you want to be at work on. Could be your career, could be other areas of life that you go, okay, what's the problem? What do I have? How do I, what do I need to learn? Who can I call on? And to build in my community of people that will strengthen us. And so through this, we create strong hubs that help us. So if you do this prep matrix on your own, you get a really clear understanding of yourself as an individual, about what you want to, what next steps to take. And if you do this as a community, imagine that. Imagine being able to have people that you can say as a community, like, all right, we need to source some food. We need to be able to know where to access clean, healthy, organic food. How do we do that as a community, for example? And then imagine that your community has identified that. Well, then take hand in hand what my self-reliance offers, experts, and as you can see, the stallholders and the speakers right, let's bring in someone, for example, like Candace, who's going to train us and teach us as a community how we can have really healthy food and store food and answer all those questions. Now, imagine that your community is linked with lots of other communities across Australia who are also, maybe they're a step ahead of you and they've answered some of these questions and they can support your community in doing exactly that. So that's the business of My Self-Reliance. That's what we're up to here. And if you want to be a part of a hub or a community of people who are going forward doing that, then link arms, become a My Self-Reliance member, and you'll get the access to the resources and to the support that you need to go ahead, because self-reliance on your own is a myth. As a community, we can accomplish anything. So that's why community is everything. Right. Well, more on that next time. Let's move into Freeman's talk. Now, Freeman came right after me and he was sensational at helping us. One of the things, my takeaways from Freeman's talk was busyness. When we talk about how busy we are, it's actually a little bit of a booby trap where we say, look how busy I am. And it's a bit of like, give me a pat on the back because of, or an excuse as to how we can get out of jail free card because look how busy I am. But it's actually not where the power is. So can anyone who was in his talk, give me a thumbs up if you were in his talk. This is why the more people on, the better, because we can draw on everyone's notes.
I don't know how to do that, Kelly. Sorry, on the Zoom.
Yeah, but
How do you-
Joanne, you were in his talk, and Paul, do you remember what he said was like, instead of saying I'm busy, what did he suggest we do instead?
He said, my calendar is full of productive items, or I'm working on productive items on my calendar, something like that.
Yeah, I'm productive.
Yeah, I'm productive and my calendar's full. And how does that feel when we are able to call it like, I choose not to put this into my calendar at the moment because it's not my priority, or I'm taking this on. I love that.
I also really liked what he said about it's in you. You know, whoever you are, you'll find yourself, it's there. You may think, but it's in you. Yeah. Do you remember him saying that?
Yeah, who else wants to add to that?
What's in you? Because I wasn't.
Yourself. You find yourself.
The power, your
essence of
power.
who-
Yeah, you don't have to like, he talks about traveling to transform, but it's in you. You don't have to travel necessarily to go find yourself. It's already, the power's already there. But sometimes these experiences that you bump up against do help you to see your power. Beautiful. Any other thoughts before we move on? So we're going to go pretty quick because we got a lot to get through. So Gigi Foster, who Paul alluded to earlier, she was like a fire hose of information, but anyone want to share with us Ben, what did you love about Gigi Foster?
Yeah, I'm going to Belgium.
You're going to Belgium because that's where she's putting together her education. Simone, what did you get out of it?
Yeah, I thought she was a wealth of knowledge. I actually asked her about it too, Ben, as well, about the Belgium thing too with the volunteering. So I was quite interested as well. But she just was like, there was just so much to say, but not enough time. It was like,
She
but I
talks
did
so
write.
fast.
I know, and I was writing. So I've got a whole book that I've got to go through yet with all the stuff that I've written down and took notes as well. So she was great, just a wealth of knowledge, honestly. It's great, really, really good.
After Gigi, we had Nadia, you've got your program. Mute.
Zeb Freeman opting out.
Oh, we had CJ standing in for Zev. So he sent his apologies. He let me know ahead of time that he couldn't make it. But we had the beautiful CJ And you know, she is the brains in the outfit, and the pretty face, let's face it. So who was in CJ's talk? Who would like to share with us? I know she was a favorite for a lot of people.
The thing that I got out from her talk is that she is living the talk.
Yeah, she walks the talk of being.
She's gone through the whole process and knows how to set everything up, and she's willing to help anybody who wants to do the same. And people just need to sign up. It's a free membership, and they will get the resources to help them move in the same direction.
Yeah, perfect.
You get access to more resources if you become a paid member.
Yes.
And they also have apart from what CJ was talking about with the UCC, because you can register your car with the UCC, you don't have to pay registration in Australia. But it does cost about $2,000 to get to go through the UCC thing. So I guess in the long term it'd pay for itself. But they also have a I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I think it's a private association that you can set up, and that way you're not. I don't know, how do I say this without? Well, it's a way to protect yourself from the government. Put it that way. So, and that costs about $2,000 as well. So you need to save up if you want to take advantage of those things.
Yes, and so they have set it up so that you know you can kind of be off the system in terms of you know, not answerable. But I will say you could do all the paperwork, but there is an element that comes. It's like the Jedi Knight, right? These are not the droids you're looking for. It's kind of like in who you be, not just the paperwork. So you do the paperwork while you are transforming your way of being in the world, so that you are not you kind of be one instead of fighting against. Does that make sense?
May the force be with you. I didn't know you were a Star Wars fan.
Yeah. Yes, especially in this analogy. So the after the break, we had the lunch break, and then we came back with Nadia.
Tim Winthrop interactive game show.
Oh my goodness, who was in the room for that? Everybody loves Tim and his interact. So what he does is he puts forward a scenario, and one of them was about the digital ID, and then had people in groups and working out how are you going to handle this situation, and so who was doing that with Tim?
Yeah, so the session, I think it's really good because it puts us in a situation that we've really got to think about how would we overcome it. And rather than just sit there and think about it ourselves, it's being discussed in smaller groups where we all then put forward what our solution is to the scenario that was presented. And I think it's really good to get us thinking about that. And really it's up to us to then look at implementing those prior to it getting to that stage.
And what were was any of those scenarios that you had a takeaway from that you thought, oh yeah, this is what I want to do?
Look, the overall answer to all of them basically comes down to community, building your community and relying on each other in those times.
Yeah. 100%.
Not relying on someone else, relying on each other to be able to, whether it's, you know, trading resources and whatnot. You know, it's like a telephone. It's useless on its own. Great device, but useless on its own. You need a network of telephones.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Stephen Covey talks about independence is a good thing, but then he says interdependence is the next step up, and that's what community is.
The other thing that I heard was about having options. So setting yourself up with even overseas options for, finance options, or I know Gigi spoke about that, where, having people that she knows in different countries, happens to be her family members, but having, bank accounts in different countries, that kind of thing. Andrew, do you want to add to that?
Yep. The other thing I would add to sort of builds into what Ben was saying about community is the exercise of solving problems together as a group. Very valuable. It needs a lot more work on how to do that effectively so that we're able to come to solutions, especially when it's high stakes stuff. Now it was sort of just a game, so it didn't matter. But if it was high stakes, the emotions are a lot higher, then it becomes really important that you're able to work through ideas together.
Yeah, perfect. That's where that communication comes in. Absolutely. Communication. What's the problem here? What are our resources? What do we need to educate ourselves on? Who are our people? Yep, perfect. Okay, so after Tim, we had. I'm looking at Nadia. I'm not using my brain.
Okay, sorry. Candice Coughlin, preserve your health.
Candice, she's always one of our favorites. And Candice talked to us about how to preserve food so that you have a nutritious base of food storage, not just pasta and rice that can fill you up, but not provide you with nutrition. So, of course, she offers courses and workshops in that, and is an amazing resource for us. Anyone want to add to that? Anyone in her workshop?
Yeah,
talk?
Kelly, was there a weekend planned in March with Candice?
Oh, good reminder. Yes. 14th of March here at Lily Ponds Retreat. We're going to do a Saturday and Sunday. So there's going to be 2 workshops on the Saturday, the morning and afternoon session. And it'll cover off basics of fermentation. I think there'll be a drinks one. Forgive me because I can't remember what they all were, but on the ones that she mentioned, I was like, oh, cool, because I haven't done that one. And then there's also be another one on Sunday morning. So you'll get to either participate in 1, 2, or 3, whichever ones you want. You can just go, I'll do one workshop, and then, but if you want the 3 workshops with the overnight stay in the glamping accommodation or a camping accommodation, there'll be that available as well. And so we'll make the bookings available for that very soon. Save the date for now. Okay, moving right along. After Candice, we had
Rob Pryor, the gift in the challenge.
Rob. He is remarkable because he overcame cancer and now runs a course, a 5-week course called Curable, that he can help anybody through their cancer journey or other health ailments and get them healthy if they follow his coaching protocols. So and he actually did this talk like, this is what health professionals will tell you, this is what I believe. So was anyone in his talk that would like to share from it?
I was in his talk, and he was talking about how some of the natural things, like even just starting off really simply with just giving up the alcohol and the sugar, which made a huge impact. He lost like 32 kilos, I think he said, which changed, like it's made a massive change to his life. And it was just so interesting that all these doctors telling him to do this, cut this out, blah, 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 you're going to add more stress and trauma to the body, whereas going the natural way was just like, you know, as we know. But it's just so good to see somebody standing in front of you that's actually gone through this. And like he was even saying that his good friend Doc Neeson, who he had cancer too at the same time, and obviously coming from such a you know, a life full of drugs and alcohol, what he could not give up the sugar. It was an addiction. So the sugar. So as we know what it's like, but it was just amazing. It was a really, really good workshop. Really good to listen. Great.
Beautiful. Thanks for that, Simone. That's awesome. And then after Rob, we had Michael O'Neill. And Michael O'Neill, yeah, he's a good storyteller, and he talked about his travels with Barbara O'Neill. Put up your hand if you don't know Barbara O'Neill. Okay, we all do. She's amazing. Oh, you don't know Nadia? So Barbara O'Neill is now famous in the health world around natural healing, and she was banned from practicing in Australia, and so she can't teach or educate on health anymore, but they run a health retreat in New South Wales, in, I don't know, a Misty Mountain. And so, but she became famous all around the world now, and he was telling about how he's been invited to the King's Palace in Dubai, and like as soon as he gets there, they whisk them off in limousines, and yeah, that's right, old style natural ways of healing, you know, old grandmothers' remedies and things. But so they're absolutely protected and famous anywhere around the world, but in Australia they're outcasted. But then we went on to hear, because he is the founder of the Heart Party Australia, a political party, and he recently brought together all the politicians, all the heads of all the freedom parties in Australia, and got them together and said, come on guys, how do we win these elections? We've got to get together, not just do our own thing, otherwise we'll never win it that way. And of course, it's very difficult for who's going to take the lead on these things, because everyone has their own constituents, right? And so for everyone to kind of decide, look, let's go this direction and let's everyone vote this for this party, it means that one have to give up their own political agendas and also their following. Oh, that's very difficult to do if you are a politician and you have an ego. So, but he did say they are working on things and coming together in ways. And anyone else heard him speak and want to add to that?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, Andrew.
One of the things he said that impacted me was nothing is completely negative. So everything has a positive side to it. You just need to be open to the alternatives. And the other thing that he added with that is decide that this is the best thing that ever happened to me. And that's how he gave the example of Barbara, that when it looks like everything was falling apart and she got banned, it actually turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to him. And that was like a real life example of how that worked.
Yeah, super. I love that. I absolutely believe that too. And you do create your own reality, you know, with the words that you use. And we have to always be careful of the language that we speak, because what you think about, you bring about. So, and he obviously learnt that a long time ago and has implemented that, and they've gone from strength to strength. So we can all do that. And that was the close of our speakers for that day, but we did have some amazing workshops going on. Anyone attended any workshops on Saturday that you'd like to speak about? Simone, look at what can you just hold that up again, Simone? Look at this. Have you done that since Saturday?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness. Tamara will be so proud.
I'm so happy.
Look at
So
you.
proud of you.
I
Looks
know, Mids. Look at
amazing.
that.
I know. Love
I'm
it.
still going.
So Simone, Mids and I went to the Off-Grid Festival in Victoria 2 years ago. She did one weaving class there and hasn't stopped weaving since. And that was her stand that you saw, and with all her weaving creations. And now look at her. She's got a plan B, making income.
I love it. I love it. I'm just so soul nourished by this. I just could do this forever.
And I was, you know what? I was exactly like you. Wherever we stopped for anything at the Off-Grid Festival, I constantly had that in my hand, and adding another thing and another thing. It was so funny. I was exactly the same. That's how I started. I'm like, by the time we left there, I was like, yeah, I got this.
And it was so blessed. Because Tamara only rang me the night before, was I think Wednesday night, and said, hey, I'm now not going away. Do you want me to come and do a weaving workshop?
I'm so happy that she was there. That was amazing.
I'm jealous I missed it.
Yeah. Bless. Well, we can put you in touch. We know where to find Tamara, and she loves to do weaving workshops.
Twiddly lovely, thank
you. She runs a homeschool co-op and, yeah, walks the talk, that girl. You can follow her on Instagram called Wild Chicks Farm. She's located right next to where we were at Kenthurst, about 6 minutes up the road. Beautiful. Okay. Anyone else went to any workshops on Saturday? I know there was a few going on. Poor Zita. I did promise Zita a workshop, but I didn't announce it very well. So my apologies to Zita, because she does a lovely demonstration of home cleaning. She came on and she spoke on one of our calls before. You want to reach out to Zita from Norwex for a home cleaning demo. Lots of fun. Joe was a store holder. He had EMF. Is it EMF machines or PEMF machines? Don't know. You could sit there with the around him a PEMF, and it vibrates like what's the word? Electrical currents run through it, and so it's very healing. Pulse, that's right. Your pulse EMFs, and it would bop 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 bop, and it just relaxes all your shoulders and
those machines were so cool. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
so
I did know that because I was absolutely in a state of exhaustion. I could hardly walk, and because of my lack of organisation. I couldn't believe it. In 10 minutes, I was back up on my feet, functioning, energy back. And I don't think I could have got through the weekend without it. I kept going over there and getting another dose, and he was lovely. Yeah, I even laid down at one point and just had to sleep while he did it. But
yeah,
and I didn't think it was going to work. I was so skeptical. And at one stage I thought, is he sending microwaves through me? Am I getting cooked? Because the first time I felt it, I got this, like, I don't know if you experienced it, but you get that kind of shakiness in your body, in like your nervous system. And you think, the hell is that? And then you have to turn it back a bit, and then you get, oh, that's it. And yeah, so, and he says it's rebalancing your cells, which I thought was incredible. Energizing. Yeah, amazing stuff.
Amazing stuff. Donna said it healed her chronic shoulder pain, gone, and her sprained ankle. So lots of, yeah, amazing. And he did a talk for us the week before the summit. So that's on YouTube if you want to go have a listen to that. But he is also in the directory, and you can download that off of the website and find his contact details there. Awesome. And so while we're talking about store holders, anyone else want to give a raving review of a store holder there?
Kelly, can I just ask you what the Joe's thing is called on YouTube? Is it called?
It was he spoke in amongst all the other speakers, so it was called Meet the Experts.
And the YouTube thing you said we can.
No, that was it. Yeah, so on my channel, it's called Kelly Wilkins - My Self-Reliance. If you go there, it's the very last thing that I uploaded called Meet the Experts, and he did a little 10-minute spiel about his
Oh, you've
devices.
got of the speakers, have you?
Well, we're just talking about the EMF one at the moment.
Yeah, I know, but you've got them on there, so I can go back and because I didn't see anyone. So
In the planner.
Okay.
Yeah, in the directory. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. So Anna is on tonight. Welcome, Anna. And Anna is from ASEA. And Anna also spoke about her products online on that same call as well. So how was your weekend? As a store holder, what was your experience, Anna?
It was a wonderful experience. It was the people, Kelly, just the most wonderful people. And we spoke briefly about why there weren't droves of humans finding this little mecca. And I've talked about this with other people as well. And, you know, I had EMF measuring devices on my table to educate people with as well. But the explanation is that, you know, the hive mind, the nanotech, the frequencies, people are finding it difficult to operate. And so to be in the company of so many alert, open, loving, willing beings, it was very therapeutic for me.
Do you know what? I hadn't thought about that, Anna. I hadn't thought about even people who were there last year who weren't there this year, like had for what circumstances or whatnot. But when I think about it, I think, wow, there's some really big things going on for people, and it's driven a lot by, you know, it could be a chronic EMF, you know, but the people who were there were open and ready to receive, weren't they?
Yes. The device I had with me was developed by someone who's a world expert, and it measures electric fields, magnetic fields, and radio frequency. All are different. But something that everybody can do from home is if you've got an old AM, FM radio and you switch it to AM and you put it on the lowest band and you put it on in your home, if it sounds like a blender or if you hear that sound, you know you're in dirty electricity. And this is also very disruptive to cells. It really compromises the way people function and think and the way their cells manage stress. So that is something to look at. And it's a massive problem in the world with power lines and all the energy required to service AI. There's a lot more electricity in our environment. And so I have a lot of compassion for people, but the tragic thing is nobody seems to know about this. And the people who make the filters and the measuring devices for dirty electricity are being shut down or disappearing. It's one of those invisible subjects. So for anyone who can access grounding and sunshine, it's really important.
Yeah, well said. Thank you for reminding us.
I
Yeah.
have a question for Anna, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
I did visit your stand, Anna, and I was trying to visit as many as I could. And I was thinking about your device today, actually, and I couldn't remember how much it was to purchase.
Yes, the ones I had were $150. It's very affordable. It's a
Right. So how do I get one of those?
Yes, look, just write your contact in the chat and I'll message you.
Yeah, and Anna, put yours in as well.
Okay, sure. I'll put my email address and phone number in, and
Fantastic.
to chat with anyone about anything related to cells and energy. It's so important, even if it's invisible.
Amazing. It is so good. All right. Let's then go on to well, Nettie, are you able to speak? No?
Yes, yes, I'm
Yep.
here. Yep, yep.
So you were on a stand with Jennifer
That's right. Yeah,
and doing some spiritual healing. What was your experience of the weekend?
it's great. Lovely time. Great. We saw some very, very positive results, and we give glory to God because it's not us, it's Him.
You did a lot of healing there. A lot of people, yeah.
Reconnecting.
And there was a
Yes.
lot of, yeah. My mum says thank you very much. That was one of the things that she wanted to do, was to make sure she got around to see Jennifer, and she did. So,
Oh,
yeah,
good. Yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
No, it was great. We had a wonderful time.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Sunday. Oh, okay. So for those who weren't there Saturday night, Paul spoke about earlier that Saturday we actually did, after all the talks, we did a members breakout session. And in that members breakout session, we talked about what does it really look like to become a member? What are the things that are going to happen? How's the mechanics of that going to work? And Simone or Nadia, what was some of the feelings that came out of that conversation?
I think the feeling was quite reciprocated quite well, actually. There was a lot of involvement. Everybody was throwing in stuff. Even when you asked what the one word for strength and preparedness, diversity, like everybody was just being really quite. It was good because it was just so interactive. It was actually really, really good because there's a lot of new members. So and it can be very, very daunting when you come into a new group and you speak up. Not everybody's comfortable with that. So it was actually really good as a community when nobody knows anyone like that. And it was really, really nice. It was done well. It was done well.
Thanks, Simone. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Anything you wanted to add, Nadia?
Yeah, I ended up having a longer chat with Gigi and I think maybe two other people. And it was, first of all, it was good to find out who else was in my hub. And yeah, just, finding out who's who in the zoo. But what influenced a lot of what I said in my talk around being instead of like-minded, like-hearted and open-minded, and the importance of diversity of many different approaches to solve the problems that we're facing, and the need for collaboration, and the theme around self-responsibility. If we can search inside ourselves, what's the gift that I have to offer to the community, and how do I go and proactively offer that? That's really where we will all rise together if we're willing to do that.
Yeah, I love that you presence that for everybody. Nadia, your talk was absolutely gold, and I think I think we should do another session where we do that talk for everybody and go through some of those processes, because I think that's when you're starting out community, and maybe doing it for specific communities, if they identify that, okay, like, we do feel a little bit nervous or uncomfortable because we don't know anyone here, and I don't, like, how do you make it that community cohesive? That's where you're perfectly placed to go in there and do that work with them.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that with each hub, because I think it's important to actually work with the actual people and what the actual emotions are, and the contributions. And when we get really specific, like we did in the workshop that I offered on Sunday afternoon, we could actually address each person's real world, real life stuff. That's what makes it real for people, and then they can take that life skill and put it into daily practice, and that having those practical communication some tools, I think, is the game changer.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. So that was Nadia's talk on Sunday morning. She
Can I
kicked off the
jump in
day.
for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nadia, just kudos to you. I've when I was in Germany, so I'm from Germany, I went home to see my parents, and we had a few very deep discussions. And the talk we had last time with Kelly, I actually were able to utilize some of that. Was challenging translating it, but yeah, I just wanted to thank you. You're not making just an impact over here, you're also doing that overseas.
Wow, thank you for sharing that with me. That means a lot. I think that a lot of Marshall Rosenberg's work on nonviolent communication has been translated to several different languages, so that might be something to look into as well. But yeah, thank you for sharing that.
It's not just a translation, it's also you know, your presentation that you did, and my parents being able to see you, that made a big difference. You know, it's not just what you say, but who says it too. So thank you.
Thank you.
So before we move on to the rest of the talks that happened on Sunday, I just wanted to go back to the the memorial that we did on Saturday night, where we remembered Iggy, who was at our summit last year, and he actually passed away at the summit last year, and that was a big deal to have to, you know, work through all the emotions that come when someone passes. And so if anyone goes back and watches the video from last year, there's a point where I'm speaking on the stage, and I don't know if you could tell there's like tears in my eyes, and so I had to speak on stage right after I found out that the work that we were doing on him, he didn't make it through, right? So but I tell you, like, that's where faith comes in, and the strength that faith brings. So what I wanted people to do this year was to remember all the people that you have lost over the last year who have meant something to you, and to just be present to their life and the gift that they were in your life, and also to the things that you were able to achieve, the progress that you've made in the last year, and then just be really present to, you know, where you are at this moment. And so then we took a minute silence to do that, and I took the opportunity to say a prayer on behalf of us all of gratitude. And then beautiful Zolt played the handpan, and we heard some lovely music, teamed up with Matt Thompson. And was it Stan on the didgeridoo? No, who was that, Nadia, on the didgeridoo? No?
Sure, yeah.
But we were blessed with that music, and then that moved us into the barn dance section of the evening, which is super fun. If anyone gets involved, we kind of have a theme of doing this barn dance. Why? Because it's family friendly. Anyone can do it. You don't have to know how to dance, and you get introduced to people who you might never have talked to before as you kind of go around the room and swap partners. Dan on the didgeridoo, thanks. So yeah, so that was a super fun night, followed by the fire-twirling. It was Dan on the fire-twirling and Richard on the didge. So the fire-twirling was super like, I didn't know that was coming. We thought that Zev was doing the fire-twirling, and then because he wasn't there, then we didn't have it, but then we did have it. It was so good. It was so good. So yeah, stay tuned for photos of that. And if anyone needs a fire twirler for anything, you know, you can reach out to me and I can reach out to them. Okay, quickly then on to Sunday. For all those with sore heads who stayed up late too much on the Saturday night, Nadia kicked us off, and then after Nadia was, who was after you, Nadia? With the weather guys. It wasn't in there. Yeah, we changed up the weather guys was supposed to sick on the Friday, but then we got started late on the Friday. So we pushed them to the Sunday morning. And that was Brad and Russell, who shared with us some of their, from the green team, from Green Clean, and their weather balancing machines. So anyone in that talk who wants to, Donna, go, oh, I don't know if you can, you're harmonizing, weather harmonizers. Yeah, when I met Brad, they actually did a, where they set the weather machine up and everyone came and watched that being done and the intention of that. And as they did it, this gust of wind, which was very still, it was very still. And then they set up and this gust of wind came. Shoo. I was like, whoa, it started. So yeah, moved the clouds. So good. They offer solutions, re-EMF protection and weather disruption. So thank you for that, Donna. Charlie, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's slightly tangential. Their devices are further strengthened by the power of intention, and it would be fantastic if at some point we can discuss amongst the group coming together online to put our group intentions towards major projects. For example, putting out bushfires, preventing bushfires, influencing weather, leveraging on the beneficial impact of group intention. I don't know if anybody's familiar with what's the name, a British scientist who wrote The Field. Can't think of her name. You might like to look at the Intention project run by her, where they've cleared high levels of pollution from highly polluted bodies of water just through group intention. They've had before and after measurements to prove the impact. They've looked at cities with a history of high levels of crime and seen the impact on crime after group meditation on the reduction of that. So I think we could put that to great advantage in Australia, particularly with bushfires and any extreme weather event. And that would tie in with the harmonizers, which can amplify it and spread it across the country.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. The power of intention. If you don't know anything about that, you need to dive into
Lynn McTaggart was the British scientist that's done a lot of work in that in the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah, the intention experiment. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for present. We've talked about that, you and I, but thank you for sharing that with everyone. That's excellent. Following Brad, we heard from Simon Wilkins. Oh, that happens to be the same name as me. That was my husband, and he shared all about getting out of debt and into wealth. And so this story that he shared, because he's an expert at it, when we met, we were way in over our head in debt. And at that point, I did not know how bad of a debt situation we had. But within 7 years, we were able to clear our debt and then turn that around and start making wealth. And he specifically shared about how we came to buy Lily Pond's retreat and the challenges that we had. But in terms of power of intention, Charlie, this is one for you. So we had been visualizing, for me for 5 years, him for 3, the property that we wanted. And we knew that this property, we had a list of what we wanted. And I will say buying property or houses or moving, or that's very spiritual for me. So there is a process to it and there's a recipe for success. One is know what you want. Write a list of everything that you want visualize those things and put it out there and speak life into it. So the year before we found our property, so we'd moved, we'd kind of done a series of moves. And when we moved into our last rental, well, actually a house that we'd built, and we went to church and we said to everybody at church, oh, we're only going to be here for a year or a short time, and then we're moving north. Well, that was our intention. We're going to move north. We didn't know where. And then the day after Summit last year, we stumbled across this property. We went and looked at it and found it and went, okay, we're in love. This is it. We're going to buy it. But when we bought it, the circumstances around it meant that we needed to come up with $218,000 within 6 weeks. Well, then you have to work out where that's going to come from, right? And so we had some properties, but, you know, in order to churn that money, there's some things that need to happen. It's kind of not overnight can you sell a property necessarily. But anyway, we did a whole bunch of things to bring that money in. And with only days to go, we was outstanding $80,000. And within, my brother came to visit and he said, oh, I'll lend you the 80,000. But even releasing the 80,000 was not going to get it to their bank in time. And so we were still going to be short, and we could not push the date of settlement because it had too many other impacts. And so we had to come up with other alternatives just to get it over the line. And all the things that we tried usually would be meaning too many days that would anyway, so we prayed, and that's at this point all you could do. And come Monday morning or Monday lunch, so Monday 10 o'clock, it was like, nah, not in. But come Monday lunchtime, and he checked again, and bang, it had gone in. And so it was, okay, we have the property, it's ours. So the power of intention is real, and also the energy, like you have to put all your effort in, right? And don't leave anything to chance. But you can have your dreams. You just have to really work hard and know what you want. Anyway, that was his talk. But and lots of then tips of like getting out of debt. Really cool stuff. Okay, after Simon was
Adam Medici, owning your online identity.
Yes, someone was asking about this. So Adam Medici runs Proof Secure, and Proof Secure is a company that we interviewed him a little while ago, but we couldn't record it because it's so secure, right? So protecting your online identity, if you really want to be secure online, then don't be online. That's basically, it comes down to that. But there are some things that you can do to protect yourself online. And he has computers, computer software. He has mobile phones and the like. And we will do a follow-up call with him early next year because as things progress, just like Michael O'Neill says, there's always a way around. You know, don't give up hope that just because the digital ID is coming in, that's the end of everything. No, we will be fine. There are alternatives. Okay. After Adam, we had
there was the lunch and live music, and then Zach Joseph, Nanotech, bioweapon, and digital control.
Okay. During lunch, we had the raffle. And that was super fun. Can I say that was one of my highlights? I just felt like Oprah giving away, and you can have this, and you can have this. It was so much fun. Alana won silver, an ounce of silver. And
3, Kelly, it was 3.
He did. He tripled it. He didn't double it. He tripled
did,
it.
yeah. Yeah, I'm so grateful.
3 ounces of silver. So that silver guy, he's going to actually be on next Tuesday and talk with us all about the silver and you know why have silver and the power of it. So how to get your hands on it. So stay tuned for next Tuesday. That's a little tip. And lots of prizes were given away. And Mids gave a beautiful one of her macrames, which was weaved in the sunflower. Ah, dang it! I kind of wish I got that one myself. That was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Loved it. And then Satya won. Am I saying that right? Won the Lily Ponds Retreat package. We gave away a lot of prizes that day. Anyone in the room? Oh, Simone, you won a prize. Okay, and then we moved into jump in if I'm missing anything that anyone wants to say. Zach with the nanotech and bioweapons. He he did a great talk. Was anyone in his talk?
It was very interesting actually, even when he put up photos of like parts of the nano whatever they were coming out of people's bodies. Like, this is unvaccinated people. It was coming out of their skin. He even like had one that was looked like a square, and there was one that looked like an alien, like stuff that I like. It was pretty wow, like real wake up stuff. Like, honestly, he talks so fast though. It's really hard to like. At the beginning, he slowed down a little bit towards the end, but he was talking, I think, because he had a time frame. He was trying to get everything out as well. But it was really quite informative. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then when we did the Dr. Jen, she was a little bit, it was great, but I'll let you go with whatever you've got to carry on with. But it was good. It was a really good informative workshop, stuff that if I hadn't have seen it, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. And he has done several talks with me over the years. So you can go back and have a listen to some of his longer interviews that on our YouTube channel. And he does have the device that he uses to remove those particles from us, and especially unvaxxed people. Okay, and then we had Dr. Jen, and Dr. Jen finished off the day with an excellent talk on health and also on advocating for health using the medical system. And so what she referenced there was paperwork that I can share with you that was created by some industry professionals, medical industry professionals, who put together paperwork that is conditional consent forms. So if you're going into hospital or you need it, you can say, I accept I consent to this, but I don't consent to that. And these are forms that you can fill out. Also health summaries that you can hand over to a doctor that gives all of your details without them having to give you, go to this one, the third degree, and repeat yourself. You can forms that are in the way that they like to receive it, so that you can have them pre-done. It's some really good paperwork. But was anyone else in, because I know that she did some more alternative, because Dr. Jen now she has an alternative health. She's always been an integrative health doctor, but now she works a lot with the power of, it's not the power of intention, but it's working. She actually helped me overcome my thyroidism, overactive thyroid. And the key thing she said to me at the time was, what was happening to you right before you got sick? Because you don't go from being well to being sick just like that. There's triggers. And so for me, it was emotional and it was guilt that sent me into emotional spiral. But when we acknowledged that, then I overcame off medication within 6 weeks. So that's the kind of work that she can do. Timeline therapy, helping you overcome history of trauma, dating back from generation to generation. That's kind of the work that she does now. Let's talk about the food on the weekend. Oh my goodness. Kay Lammers, you came through, my love, with the healthiest, yummiest, almost organic food that just nourished your body and made you feel so good. And so she had such a variety on the day. Thanks, Nadia, for posting the wellbeingholistic.net. So thank you so much, Kay, because you were in the kitchen like all day, right up until pack up. Like, I don't know, what time did you leave? Like 10 p.m. on Sunday night.
I think it was 11.
11. That's right. And we just loved your food. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a great honor and it was exhausting, but yeah, a great experience. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity. And yeah, and Michael's here too.
Thank you, Michael. Mwah. And Kay goes to all the extra like decorating, like making it look beautiful and like a cafe as well. So she has all those years of experience, but she just does that to a T. So thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for acknowledging me and us. Yeah.
Kay, do you do catering now? No, you just did that for me as a favor?
Yeah. Well, I can. I mean, yeah, I have done catering and I've had 3 restaurants. So, and I've done a food certificate, at TAFE, Ride TAFE.
Well, I'll just say that if anyone's thinking of doing a retreat and needs catering, invite Kay because she's excellent.
Okay. Thanks for that, Kelly.
We also had Anthony who did the kebabs on Saturday, and he doesn't do that for a job either. He's just excellent at what he does, and we thank Anthony for providing that. We also had the coffee van that was there, who also did the acai bowl and ice cream on Saturday. Who had that? I missed out on the ice cream. Dang, they were missed out. Alfred and Gowrie on the crepes. Oh my goodness, how good are those crepes and juice that they provided? It was lovely. They were there all weekend and provided the lovely cushions and place to sit down and enjoy. So the ambience was there. And also then on the Sunday we had Murray from Country Meats Direct with those amazing like you can't even say sausage sandwich. It was just so like he called it the Big Mac version and the other, like they were amazing. They were so good. I can see Charlie, you've got your hand up. Do you want to share something there? While Charlie's coming off mute, we actually ordered a bag of meat from Country Meats Direct, and so he delivered it there to us on the weekend. So now we're just like meat and 3 meats man for the next. Love it. Charlie, go ahead.
Yes, just a quick thing there. Kay, I took you and Michael across to Brad and Russell because their little water bead, their little glass beads, I felt would be very beneficial for you to put in anything.
Yes.
Put in the water that's used for anything that you prepare, whether it's beverage or food, as a way of raising the vibration of the food and raising the vibration of the consumers of your food, and as a way of you to spread the word from your own direct experience of how different you felt, because you were exhausted when we went there, and after having some of the water misted on you, I think it was, you
Oh, yes.
were rejuvenated enough to do the next session.
Well, then I
Correct?
water, and then I had the pulsing thing machine, so I had a double whammy. See,
After as well. Double whammy.
we put the little ball, the little structured water ball, the marble, into our drinking water that we had outside the area where we were serving, and people could just help themselves to water, pre-water. So it had that structured water thing in it. So that was good.
Wow.
Thank you for showing us that.
Yeah, that's so good.
You can also use it for all liquid put into foods that you prepare, even just for washing food.
Oh yeah, right.
And
yeah.
that will structure the water within that food.
Right. Yes.
What a good example of cross collaboration there, Charlie. So good. Because
I did. I'm a cross pollinator. I did a lot of cross pollinating.
Yes, an introductory
between stallholders and people that were there. It's much easier for them not to have to push their own barrow uphill, to have someone who's completely independent share information from the other side of the table to lay the groundwork, if you like, of interest.
Correct.
From which point the stallholder can actually go in with a deep dive of information to meet their informational needs.
Yes, amazing.
That's
sorry. Can I also say, Charlie, I think you took little samples of chocolate cake around to everyone. And I got a run on the chocolate cake after that. We ran out.
How good. She did too. And
they made
yes.
the best chocolate cake. And I had a very small slice when we were cutting it up, and I thought, this is the best chocolate cake. If nobody knows about it, they're not going to have a chance of coming and eating it. So I took very small, very small little balls of it, and to about, I don't know, maybe 40 people, and encouraged them to run down straight away, because there was very little there to be had, and if they wanted a piece, they better go now. And pretty much everybody went.
Well, and then we had repeat people coming back and asking for more chocolate cake, and there was none left. But they were sufficed with the orange almond cake, which was also okay.
That's what I was hoping.
Okay, so that was good. We got rid of it, nearly all the cake. I think we had one slice left out of the 4 cakes that I did. the big cakes. But yeah. And thank you very much for doing that.
Most delicious.
Thank you very much. Yes.
It was my pleasure.
Oh, see, community in action.
Otherwise, everybody would have been so busy in the actual, listening to the talks and going to the stalls, and I could just see that they wouldn't. There's no way they would have gone, because they wouldn't have known, and they wouldn't have thought about eating. They were just preoccupied with the talks and the stalls.
Yeah.
You can
So
see
that
what
was
a
the
beautiful
way I thought I could get them down there, so you didn't have to carry it all home and eat it all yourselves.
This is why I brought Charlie on the team. So now Charlie's a My Self-Reliance team member, because she's that thoughtful and resourceful and generous and clever. So thank you. Well, beautiful people, I think that we if last round, if anyone wants to add anything, then this is your opportunity before we close up for the night. And a reminder to jump it back in next Tuesday to hear from Adam, that silver guy, because he's going to share with us all about what he had, and this is my favorite part, is to be able to share with everyone the resources that we have in our community. So anyone else want to share anything before we finish up?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, Kelly. I just just wanted to thank a few people. That was Nettie and Andrew, both amazing. I had a healing from Nettie and Jenny. That was quite incredible. Andrew found me a gas so I could actually do cooking, because there was no stove, and we had had to have our wits about us because we had nowhere to cook. And I had all these things to cook and nowhere to cook it. And we managed to manifest a kitchen and out of nothing. And thank you. And also to you, Kelly. And, you know, I don't know how many people thanked you, but, you know, good on you for, you know, creating this event and persevering with it. And, you know, I was so glad to be able to join you and not be working on a weekend so I can actually join you. And it was very enjoyable. Thank you for it. And everyone else.
Oh, thanks, Kay. Beautiful. Appreciate you all.
Kelly, can I just say something?
Yes.
I just wanted to say I met some really beautiful people there, really beautiful people that hopefully I'll stay in touch with. And it was just such an enjoyable 3 days. I was planning on leaving by lunchtime on Sunday, and I think I was there till 4 or 4:30. So thank you so much, and thank you to everyone really, because everyone has been a part of it and makes it what it is. So yeah, thank you.
Well, Joanne, I know you drove such a long way to come, but next year you're going to have to drive a little bit further because
I know.
Next year we're going to Queensland, everybody. So all those Queenslanders who have been watching us for so long have wanted us to come there, and I feel like we have the call to go to Queensland next time, and we'd love you all to come with us. I know Sydneyites, they're not phased. They love a good holiday, so they'd love a good excuse to get out of Sydney and go to the Sunshine Coast for sure.
We just saw it in Queensland, so that's a damn shame.
Well, we just have to find the venue. It'll be probably earlier in the year next year because it's a bit warmer up there, so it'll probably have to be end of August or beginning of September. But we'll work on that and stay tuned. But anyway, hopefully you're all receiving my emails or you're all in the Telegram group. If you're not in Telegram, that's where the first place that I put information. I'm still sending through photos. Anyone else have photos of the weekend? Please put them in Telegram. There's a channel which is called My Self-Reliance Australia, and there is a chat group called Self-Reliance and Food Storage. And the difference is you can post anything in the chat group, but if you don't want all the pings as much, then just follow the channel. But we love to have you join us there. Also, what else? Becoming part of the hubs. Go to www.myselfreliance.com.au and sign up if you haven't already. Signing up just lets me know that you're keen to be part of this community and in a bigger way than what we do on the Tuesdays. But also, if you want to become a hub leader, there are extra benefits to upgrading to hub leader, and programs that we do and training and support. So beautiful. Well, love to all of you. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. Thank you for sharing and for your generosity. We usually don't go this late unless it's a really good talk, and then we can't say goodnight. But I will hopefully see you on next Tuesday.
Have a great night, guys. Bye, Kelly.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Good to see
Thank you,
everyone.
Kelly.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.